Oh, it's Halloween. Hello, bloody ween.
You should have your what's it?
What?
Psycho mother hair on today.
I don't feel like that. But yes, it's Halloween. Welcome. Halloween's finished now for you watching this, but we're deep in Halloween spirit.
Are you feeling ghoulish?
I always feel ghoulish. So welcome, bloody welcome to our pumpkin-themed set today with a gentle pumpkin glow of orange.
I don't... Is it a pumpkin glow? What are you doing?
I can do that. You're my partner.
It's just so unusual.
Well, yeah, it is. It's nice. It's different.
It's different, yeah.
What was I saying?
Pumpkins!
Welcome to
Sunday Chat!
I am Richard and this is
Paul.
And this show is a weekly show.
Yeah.
A weekly chat show where we sit and chat on the sofa and talk about all sorts of things that have happened in the week. It's so exciting. We lead such rich and full, exciting lives.
In your dreams.
Don't we, Paul?
No.
We're very
dull.
boring.
Dull.
We are, totally. Well, we had a lovely day yesterday in our social bubble with the lovely Vivi Gregory of What Vivi Did Next and Vivi's Kitchen Garden. And we received this lovely, plump, firm, juicy pumpkin, which we've named Patchoula.
Patchoula
pumpkin.
pumpkin.
What?
I do quite like that.
Patchoula pumpkin. And she's sitting here gently warming against these dangerous candles that are right against the fabric of my wall hanging. How do I get away with not causing a house fire? Well, they're not real. Aren't they amazing? I love these. They were given to me by a friend because she no longer wanted them. They've got batteries.
Lovely.
And they've got a flickering flame.
Are these the ones that change colour, or is that
No.
the other? We've got another lot that change colour, and they're actually quite nice in certain circumstances, but
These are great, aren't they? Put your hand into the flame. Oh.
We're going back to She last week, weren't we? Oh, is that your beauty?
I'm aging. No, here we are. Look, there we are. Lovely candles. Our pumpkin-themed room. It's not really. It's just a mock-up for the video. We don't really celebrate things in that way.
No.
We're not the kind of people who put pumpkins outside to attract children that want sweets. No, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
We did. One year.
Did we?
Yes, we did. We said, oh, let's get some sweets, and then if people do knock at the door, we can throw them out into the street where the children, can forage in the gutter for them. But
I don't remember doing that.
if you remember, we had loads of knocks one year, and we had nothing.
That's right.
And then the following year, we said, we'll get the sweets, we'll do the thing.
That's right.
And nobody knocked.
Nobody knocked, because the year before we hadn't answered the door, so they just thought we were a old gay couple that didn't want to enjoy Halloween at all.
I don't think they did.
I think they did.
Did they?
I think they did.
Are children that astute?
No, not the children, the mothers and the parents and the fathers and the guardians and the whatever else you have.
So this Halloween, to anybody calling, we say, up yours ugly. That's what we do. So, yeah, Halloween. All Hallows Evening.
So today...
Is Halloween.
Yeah, but Sunday, today, when they're watching this, is All Hallows.
All Hallows Day.
Day, not Eve.
But All Hallows Eve, Halloween,
is
when the veil is thinnest between
this world.
The mortal world. And the undead.
There is a celebration in Mexico of the undead, isn't there?
Day of the Dead.
Day of the
I
Dead.
think it's really healthy to think about death and those things. I think it's really healthy to think about it.
Well, not to
Immerse yourself
immerse
in it all the
yourself,
time.
yes.
Because we're alive. We're living now, here in the moment. But I think, the passing, whether you believe in spiritual realms of the spirits of the dead or not. I don't know what I was saying.
No, I don't know what you were saying.
What I was
You're doing a lot of hand movements, though.
Hand movements. They might be spiritual. They might be like the OA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was such a shame when that got cancelled.
Anyway, what was I saying?
You slapped
Halloween.
me then.
No, I wanted to go to Well, it didn't hurt, did it? I wanted to go to memories of Halloween and flickering candles.
What did you do at Halloween then?
Well, we did the
No.
usual. We did the usual things like dunking our heads into bowls of water filled with pieces of apple.
Apple bobbing.
Apple bobbing.
We did do apple bobbing.
And we also did apple on a string.
Oh,
Where you
were
hung
you
it.
blindfolded?
You hung it and you had to try and bite.
Blindfolded. Yeah.
I think
yeah.
you couldn't touch the apple, but of course the
No,
minute
you had your hand behind your back.
Yeah.
That's right. You had
and
to,
the minute you
you
nudged
couldn't-
the apple, it was swinging about, hitting you in the face, causing injury.
Yeah.
We
We did apple bobbing.
Yeah.
And my brothers, they used to put me under a big tin bath that we had outside, and we used to do apple bobbing in that. So you used to fill it with water and put the apples in. I don't think we did. Halloween wasn't a big thing in Guernsey then.
I'm not surprised.
We do have a headless horseman.
Do you?
Not personally. That is supposed to go through. Which valley is it? Is it? Oh, I can't remember which valley. Is it Vaublay now? I think it might be Vaublay.
I don't know. Don't look at me.
I can't remember now. Oh dear, gosh.
But-
that's going back a long time.
Now, it is the time where the spooks and ghouls appear to the mortals. Have you ever seen a ghost? Do
There
ghosts exist?
There was a thing one day where I was talking to Richard. I saw him and I was talking to him, and I mean, not, sort of like, you ready for lunch or something like that. This was years ago. And then he came downstairs and I went, "Have you gone back upstairs?" He went, "No." And I went, "Oh, because I thought you were downstairs, I was talking to you." And I would swear that I saw a shadow, but of course it could be a shadow through our front door. That's what it could have been.
Or I could have just walked away because I was bored with what you were saying.
That's highly likely. Highly likely.
I've known stories. My mum used to see things, but I don't know whether that was because maybe she's had one too many Bacardis and Cokes.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. But she used to see things. We've had...
A doorbell.
Oh, yeah, we had the doorbell incident.
We've said about the doorbell incident. That was quite scary.
Well, some people might not have heard that story, but... Okay, let's just stop moving about to different subjects, because let's stay on my story first.
It's all about you.
Well, yeah. I remember this was a story that my grandmother told me that was kind of involving me, but it wasn't. She used to live in a house where I used to go and stay in the little box room, and there was a window above the front door. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And apparently one night, the insurance man came to the house, as they used to do, you
to
know.
collect the weekly or monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
subscriptions.
He said to her, "Your little boy needs to be careful because he's going to fall out of that window." And she went, "I haven't got a little boy. My son is grown up." And he said, "Well, there's a little boy hanging out of the window upstairs. I just saw him." And I wasn't there that night. I wasn't staying there. Who was the little boy? Was it a projection of my spirit? Was I maybe astral projecting as a child? I don't know. And also another incident with face at the window. We had a bread man called Norman, and he used to come weekly to our house. And my mum was alone in the house one day, as she very often was, being a, housewife and mother. And Norman came to the door and said to her, "Your mother-in-law's a fine-looking woman." And Mum said, "Oh, have you just seen her in the street?" And he said, "No, she waved to me from the upstairs window." And my mum said, "I'm the only person in the house. Norman, get up them stairs now and have a look." And she made him go upstairs to look to see whether anybody was in the house, and she was all alone. So yeah, things like that have happened.
I think we're going to have a bungalow with our next house, and there'll be no upstairs windows.
We've had a couple of things here happen. We've had the doorbell incident, where the doorbell, we had one of those old Victorian style doorbells with an actual bell on a spring. And one morning, it was in September, we were due to go out to Avebury for the day.
That's right, yeah.
And it was about 6 a.m, and the doorbell started to ring, didn't it?
Yeah, continuously.
And we thought, oh my God, who's that? Is it one of our neighbours? Has something happened? It must be an emergency. It's ringing like crazy.
So we switched into that mode of, right, get up, get down.
Adrenaline,
all of that.
Throw clothes on, run downstairs. I came downstairs, opened the door, and the doorbell is still ringing like crazy. And there's nobody there. And the doorbell is forcibly moving. I had to grab hold of the actual mechanism to stop it from ringing. And the only way I could stop it was to actually pull it off the wall.
Because you let go of it and it just started again.
So whether there was a problem with the battery in it, or I don't know.
No, it was mains operated.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It had a battery in it.
Did it?
Yeah.
I thought it was mains operated.
So whether that happened when the battery ran down, I don't know, but it was really creepy.
But you'd expect if the battery ran down, it would die. It would die, or it would just go.
But it was doing it with force.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like like you see town criers ringing a bell. It was sort of like that.
Yeah. So that happened. What else has happened? The cats have reacted to things.
Oh, the cats. Yeah.
But we're not talking about when a cat looks up like that and sits there. We're talking when cats sit up and run after something. We've seen shadows, haven't we?
Yeah.
Unexplained shadows.
I mean, they do say that stories are held within walls, or some people say that the walls have ears.
Memories.
Yes, memories, stories, history are held within walls, and who knows? That may be the case. There may be a reverberation in the mortar of our house.
Well, I wish it would stop reverberating. Although,
fun.
But I don't think I'm particularly afraid of ghosts. I think, actually, bring it on. Let me have a look. Show yourself. Show yourself now. Is there anybody there? Knock once for yes and twice for no.
I mean, that you hear that saying so often. Knock once for yes And twice for no.
Yeah, I just said that.
That's the same thing.
Is there anybody there? No, there's nobody there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really. I don't know. I could believe in a physical recording of something. So, you know, I could kind of get on with the idea that people's memories or will or intentions are locked into physical objects in some way, shape or form, rather than somebody from another realm. But also, you see, I don't know, I get on with the idea that there are parallel dimensions.
Oh, I get that.
Maybe ghosts are flashes of different time periods.
Yes, transcendental.
No, not necessarily transcendental.
Transdimensional.
Yes, interdimensional. Interdimensional beings, wandering, lost and lonely, just wanting to communicate with the living. That's it.
Is that it?
What do you think, Paul?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Well, think of a theory, come up with a concept.
I do believe in parallel universes and parallel timelines. And I do think that there's a possibility that timelines at some point get interwoven.
Yes.
And of course, if our current timeline accidentally interweaves with an Edwardian timeline, we could see a lady with crinoline walking down our hallway. That's what we could do.
Crinoline?
Actually, no, it wouldn't be Edwardian, it'd be Victorian because they're Victorian houses. So Victorian dress it would have to be.
It's like that song.
What song?
That one by Kate Bush, Lake Tahoe, where the woman in the Victorian dress is in the lake and occasionally she comes up, but she's perfectly preserved. Oh, God. That's a good song. It's long.
It is.
But it's
it's
scary though. It's sad as well.
But there is that, you know, I do believe that if there are parallel timelines, they could get entangled.
You've said that. You've said that.
Okay, you carry on.
Twice, but you've said that
Yeah,
twice.
well, you carry on.
Entangled, parallel dimensions.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, just thinking about it, wow. No, I think all of that is fascinating, and I'd love some evidence, please. So if the walls have ears, speak to us now. Oh no.
No.
They wouldn't be able to. If the walls have mouths, speak to us now. It's gone dark, Paul.
I just think it's gone very dark.
Oh, it's dark over there and light over there. Dark and light.
So that's
balance.
the intertwingling.
Intertwingling
of the twangly timelines.
Intermingling of the twiggies.
Yeah.
Twiglets.
Anyway.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's not Halloween now. It's
so
All Hallows Day.
No, I've not finished.
Oh, right.
On the Halloween theme.
Shall I go and make a cup of tea?
It is a blue moon tonight. Isn't it? It's a blue moon.
It is a blue moon.
It's not going to be blue. Can you just get that in your heads?
No.
It's not blue.
It's called a blue moon because there are 2 moons in a calendar month. That's why it's called a blue moon. So we got 31 days. And what was it? Was it the 2nd? Was it the 2nd of October was the first full moon, and then the 31st is the second full moon?
Oh, the sun is coming out now and the wind is getting up.
What was that? There was that song, wasn't there? Blue Moon.
Blue moon.
Yeah, and then was there... What's her name? Did she do a... Was there a film called Blue Moon?
Don't know.
I've got a feeling there was a film called Blue Moon with...
Barbara Streisand?
No, I was going to say Hayley Mills, but I don't mean Hayley Mills.
No. Jenny Agutter?
No.
Child actress?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just a parallel timeline that has happened and it's entered my head.
Intermingling with your psyche.
Mingling.
So, lovely. Halloween, we've done that, sorted that out. We've invited the ghosts and the ghouls to come in and mingle with us.
And we'll let you know next week if they did.
Yes.
Are we going to watch horror film tonight?
So, it's been the season of the horrors. Season of the horrors. And we have enjoyed a number of good films.
Yes.
First of all, we put to bed the blooming
Blind
Manor. Bye, Manor.
That we said last week about the accents. If you really want to know how not to do British accents, watch I think it's the penultimate episode where actually the story is laid out historically of Bly Manor, because it's narrated, and the narration as a English stroke British accent is utterly terrible.
Anyway,
utterly.
So we finished that, and we're glad, because it dragged on. They could have done the whole thing in an hour. Really.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I think it could have been 5 episodes. 5 episodes.
Yeah, lovely. But one film we did enjoy very much was The Shining.
The Shining.
Now, I know
by
Stanley Kubrick.
Written by. Oh,
the sun has come out.
Look at that. Look, it's gone all bright.
Oh, we'll be too bright now.
Oh, maybe your lines will show up. It needs to go darker again.
No. Good bright light is good. The sun is fading now.
It is.
The cloud is coming back.
The ghouls are coming in.
The Shining. So if you've not seen it, watch it. Watch it in HD, because that was the difference this time round for me. Watching it, I'd never seen it in HD. I didn't see it at the cinema. I always saw it on crappy old TVs.
I've never seen it before.
And
not fully.
I mean, the crispness, the colours, the shots, the beauty of the cinematography,
for me,
and the direction really stands out, and you appreciate it more, I think, as a more mature 39-year-old. You appreciate the skill and the craft that's gone into making that movie what it is. It's a classic. Not as good as the book, though.
Well, films rarely are as good as the book. Apart from Devil's Advocate, where actually the ending of the film, which is different to the book, was better, in my opinion. Sorry, Andrew, but that's what I think.
Andrew? Who's Andrew?
He's the guy who wrote
Name
Devil's
dropping.
Advocate. But right at the beginning of The Shining, the car is travelling through the mountains to this very isolated hotel that is open in the summer and is a tourist trap in the summer, but in the winter it gets snowbound, so they close the hotel up. But the cinematography as that car is travelling along the road and going through the trees and the bends up into the mountains is absolutely fantastic. It really is. And today we have drones, well, we don't have drones, but filming is all drone footage, and I wonder how they did that, because I don't think they won't have had drones then.
No, they didn't have drones. It would have been done by helicopter, I would have thought.
I would have thought so, yeah.
But super smooth and super clever. Mind you, they did The Sound of Music with a helicopter, didn't they? When she's on the hill.
Oh, when she's on the hill, yeah.
Because it nearly blew her over, didn't it, I think? Because they have to cut before they get too close.
Yeah, otherwise her head would have come off, and that would have been a horror film.
That would have been
the sound of...
Yeah.
So yeah, that was The Shining.
That was The Shining.
And
lovely.
the feeling of isolation in the film, I think, is really excellent as well.
I guess that's how most people will be feeling now. I bet there are people going crazy with an axe in many houses around.
Well, I hope not. But the ending, I had to ask Richard about the ending, because Yeah, I thought
Why?
because of him in the photo.
Well, he becomes part of the hotel. Oh, the sun is coming out again. I didn't want the sun to come out. I'm trying to control the light, seeing as I'm such a good filmmaker. I'm going to have to close that blind. It's interfering with my ISO. Hold on.
What's ISO?
It's the control of the sensitivity.
Interspatial objectivity.
No, it's something like international standards.
Office.
Something, yeah.
No, it can't be that.
It is. It's a bizarre thing. Because it used to be ASA
Right.
on film cameras.
Advertising Standards Authority.
No, it's the... Yeah,
It's
anyway,
going dark now.
That's better. We've controlled the light.
Where were
Well,
we?
I
We'd
don't
finished The
know,
Shining.
Paul.
We'd finished The Shining. So what else have we watched?
So what else have we watched this week? We watched The War of the Worlds, the New Generation concert, which was streamed on YouTube on a channel called The Shows Must Go On.
Last weekend.
Last weekend.
I don't think it's available free now.
No, but you can buy a show and watch a show, basically. We're
Can
not
you?
Yeah, you can. There's lots of them on there.
Oh, right, okay.
We're not really show watchers. We're not really into musicals.
Well, the thing is,
particularly, are we, Paul? No, we're not.
In the past, we were at theatre so regularly that, you know, I saw Phantom 13 times. I mean,
I fell
once
asleep.
was enough,
I fell
please.
asleep.
I think Phantom is, anyway.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Les Mis, I mean, that just makes me want to literally self-harm.
Well, I love Les Mis. I think Les Mis. But our favourite was Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Kiss of the Spider Woman.
And of course,
Excellent.
Blood Brothers.
And Brent Carver sadly passed away recently.
A couple of months ago. Yeah.
Great shame. Anyway.
Oh, and what's it's gone today? Not that he's a musical star. Sean
Connery has passed away. Yeah. Well, we didn't know him. He's not a friend of ours.
Well, no, but I know Jason.
You worked with Jason,
yeah.
didn't you? That's because Paul worked in theatre for many, many years and knows many, many very, very famous people.
Jason did the
That's
Blue
true,
Room.
by the way. We're
Yeah,
not
that
joking.
is true.
It is actually true. I myself worked in television for many years also. 5 years, in fact, at the BBC.
You did? Didn't you?
I did 5 years at the BBC. Thank you very much.
You were a producer, weren't you?
No.
What? Were you a director?
No.
A researcher?
No.
Set designer?
No.
Sound engineer?
No.
What did you do?
I was a telephonist.
Oh, right, okay, yes. But you're right, you did
No, I was a
work in
telephonist
television.
to begin with, and then I became the training manager of the switchboard area. Training in customer service to not only switchboard operators, thank you, I trained other departments as well.
In what?
In customer service.
You did?
I am an expert in the concepts and things of customer service. No, I am, literally. If you want to know about customer service, I'm your person.
Yeah,
I am.
we'll move on from
No,
that.
I am.
Yeah.
Courses
So
are
what
available.
were we talking about? We were talking
I
about...
could do seminars. I could do weekend seminars on customer service.
You could.
I could invite people over to our house.
You could,
to
yeah.
eat food and learn about customer service.
I could do lunch.
Yeah, you could do lunch.
I could do lunch
do a
and
buffet.
a buffet.
A buffet.
A buffet.
The buffon. Buffet.
And then we could do supper in the evening, or maybe we could go out to a pub or something in the evening. Local pub.
We couldn't do any of that at the moment because we have to
go
go back into lockdown
Yeah, we're doing
probably
lockdown.
from Monday. But hey, that doesn't make any difference to our little narrow lives.
No, because we're actually incredibly dull
We
and
could
boring.
be on an island actually in the middle of nowhere and it
Well, I
wouldn't
think
make any difference.
We're
would
on
it?
our own little island, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
Let's make our own island.
Yeah.
Let's dig a moat. Anyway, let's move on.
What else? We watched a really terrible thing about a mission to Mars.
That was terrible.
That was terrible. The
No,
colour.
but
But what was it? It was like
green and red.
groogy colour or something.
What?
It was a cine colour.
Groogy colour.
Groogy
Groogy colour and cine colour. Not very similar there, Paul.
So we're all used to Technicolor because things are in Technicolor, and this was called Cinecolor, and I think it must have
Things
been.
aren't in Technicolor now.
Were you just interrupting me?
But things aren't in Technicolor now.
No, but we will have seen Technicolor on films, you know,
Yes.
things like that.
But anyway, that was terribly bad, so we won't actually spend any time talking about it, Paul.
I quite enjoyed it in a way.
No,
It was terrible.
Rubbish.
But it was enjoyable in its terribleness.
But the one we did enjoy was Night of the Demon.
Oh, yes.
Now, Night of the Demon, I have seen bits of it before and never watched it all the way through, as
Black
it
and
is
white.
with most of these things. But this is the film that Kate Bush took a sample from at the beginning of her track, Hounds of Love, which starts, "It's in the trees, it's coming." And that's spoken by the medium, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
It's the medium who's
In the film.
who is channeling the professor who gets killed
at the
by
beginning.
demon. Lovely, great. That was a good film. Actually, enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And that's really all we've watched this
No,
week.
we've
isn't
watched
it,
Time
Paul?
Tunnel as well.
Oh, Time Tunnel. That
That's quite fun. That's must be
Weird.
1960s.
1960s series, sci-fi series.
And it's about a program that is an experiment of transferring people in time, so time travel. And there's a big psychedelic tunnel, and people go in the tunnel and they switch on all the computers and things, and then the people get beamed to a different time.
And they're lost in time, aren't they?
They're lost in time until they can be found again.
Lost in time and space.
And they ended up on the Titanic.
Yes.
And who was the actress playing the piano?
Susan Hampshire.
Susan Hampshire.
I've got my pashmina. Isn't that what she always does?
Now, Susan Hampshire happens to be another person that I know.
Paul has worked with Susan. Hi, Susan.
I've worked with Susan, but Susan also, her and her husband, Eddie Kouloukoundas, they used to be the investors behind a company that I worked for called the Theatre Goers Club of Great Britain.
Lovely.
Many years ago. When I first came to London, when I was
Do they
24.
still exist?
No. Well, people do, but not the
company.
company.
About, Paul.
No. So we used to sit. Susan occasionally used to pop into the office.
She's lovely, isn't she,
Yeah,
Susan Hampshire?
she is.
Very sweet and actually quite a good actress.
Yeah, she used to have a flat in where what's it? I
somewhere.
can't. No, it's sort of at the top of Highbury Fields where they built the new. There's a football stadium up there.
Arsenal.
Is it Arsenal?
Is it Arsenal? I don't know. Got no idea.
Up the Arsenal. That's what they say, don't they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, somewhere around
yeah,
there.
she used to live there, but I think the whole complex of where she lived got demolished when they built the new stadium there.
Sade
It is
lived
Arsenal.
Sade lived round the corner
Oh
from
yes,
you, didn't she?
yes. Sade was our next door
Sade,
neighbour on
yes.
Highbury Fields.
Sade.
Yes, yeah.
I liked Sade, although all of her records sounded the same.
But that's because she was a smooth operator. I did like Sade.
She was alright. Listening to a Sade album is like, yeah, really, well, next.
I've got all of Sade's. Well, no, I don't have her
You don't?
recent albums, but I did have
She's
all
just
of her
got
albums.
one out, actually.
I did
I
notice
saw
that.
it on Facebook. So, yes, lovely weather. We haven't talked about the weather. Oh, we said it's going dark and light, changeable, windy, not windy, howling gales through windows, whistling.
Not howling gales through windows.
It was whistling.
It was whistling through the trees earlier.
It's whistling, well, not whistling, it's moving now. This is Storm
Aidan. Aiden.
I can't keep up with these storm naming
Aiden.
conventions.
How's Irish for Aiden?
Don't try, Paul.
Aiden. Aiden.
No.
Is that it?
That's... The last one was Barbara, so that was named by some other nation, was it?
That was France. I think it was French. Yeah, it was French.
Barbara, Aiden...
It did confuse me.
And there's another one. Hurricane Zeta.
Oh yeah, Hurricane Zeta. Yeah, that's a hurricane. So hurricane obviously comes from America because they like their hurricanes. Where the Asian subcontinents have typhoons, don't they? They have typhoons, and America has hurricanes.
Anyway, whatever.
Same thing.
Whatever. God.
But yeah, it did confuse me. I was speaking to Mum when Storm Barbara was happening, and just out of the blue, we were talking about something, what Mum had had for supper or something like that. And Mum said, "Oh, Barbara's coming." And I thought,
Who's Barbara?
Barbara? I thought she died. I mean, that's going on in my head. And I said, "Oh, right. Which Barbara?" And she said, "The one from France." I said, "Oh," I was trying to think of this French Barbara. And then Mum said, "It is getting very windy. I think that must be her."
Did the penny drop?
And the penny dropped. Yeah, the penny dropped for me that we were talking about Storm Barbara.
So.
That was a lovely moment, that. It really was.
Silence. Word of the week.
I do like Word of the Week.
Are we still recording, Paul?
Yes.
Word of the bloody week. Are you ready? I think you might know this one. I've got a feeling in my waters.
I don't want to fill your waters.
Well, you wouldn't be able to feel my waters because they're inside my body. Inside my nubile, young-toned body. The word this week is ambigram.
Ambigram.
Paul, stop rustling on the table with those disgusting fungal hobbit feet.
They're not fungal!
Oh.
They might be hobbit feet, but they're not fungal.
Ambigram.
Ambigram.
A-M for mother, B-I-G-R-A-M. Ambigram.
Ambigram. So that's a drawing.
Not necessarily.
Well, it must be a drawing, I think. And ambidextrous. Dan Brown and that thing that he wrote, the first book that went, the Illuminati. When you write it that way and you turn it upside down, it says the same thing. That must be it.
I'd love to say that you're wrong, but you're not. You're right.
Yeah. That one's quite easy though. That one's quite easy. Ambigram.
Right. The official. What's the word?
Ambigram. That's the word.
The official. What's that word for the
definition?
Definition. Thank you. God, I'm being taken over by some kind of spirit that.
That doesn't know anything.
Is a word or art form.
Oh, it is not.
Whose elements retain meaning when viewed from a different direction or perspective. That's what it is.
Right.
So I've got an example. Here's the example. Lovely. Lovely. That's good. It's the first one you've actually guessed, isn't it? What?
Bop.
Bop. Bop.
Bop.
What?
If you turn bop upside down, you get bop.
Yeah, only if it's a small b that you write it with.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
There must be plenty of other words.
Do you remember doing boobs and boobless on a calculator?
I do, yeah. What was it? It was 35 times something, wasn't it?
No, you just typed it in.
No. There was actually in a calculation you could get
I didn't do that.
to get to boob and boobless.
No, I didn't do that. I just typed it in and turned it around. Calculations using a calculator? I don't think so. I just didn't do any.
I remember, I think it was Carl Smith, he did it, and we had our maths teacher in front of us, so when the maths teacher looked down on the calculator it said boobless.
Oh, so naughty, Paul. And of course, what happens at this time of year? People start letting off fireworks.
Oh yeah, we've had a couple.
Very
not us, we've heard.
Very pleased to see that Sainsbury's, a well-known supermarket chain in Britain, Great Britain. Is it in Britain or just England?
It was mainly England.
Are not selling fireworks this year because of the distress that they cause to both animals and humans alike. And, you know...
Well done, Sainsbury's.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's excellent news. I mean, one thing that I think they need to do is get rid of all of the bangs in fireworks, all of the noisy fireworks, because silent fireworks are produced. So stick to the silent ones. Let us go, ooh, ah, lovely, the beautiful pretty colours and sparkles, but not have to be disturbed by the bangs and have all the wildlife, the pets, people with disability, people with PTSD, autistic people, people with learning disabilities, you know, people who've got mental health issues, the whole gamut. You know, those people won't have to put up with the misery that they have to go through at this time of year. I think there will be fewer.
I hope there'll be fewer. I mean, I think they should just ban sale of fireworks to the public. That's what I think they should do in the UK and all around the world. But let's just talk about the UK. I think they should ban fireworks to the public, and firework displays, organised professional firework displays, should be allowed to go ahead. Not necessarily this year because of COVID and all of that, but you know, we have Guy Fawkes Night in the UK, which we call Bonfire Night as well. But if you look up Guy Fawkes, you'll see why we have Guy Fawkes Night in the UK. And there's always loads and loads and loads of fireworks being let off for that. But I do think they should ban it for the general public and just have firework displays.
Silent firework displays.
Yeah, well, you could have music with the firework displays as well.
Well, you see, take it a step further. Look at those amazing drone displays, which we've covered in previous years.
Yeah, we have.
But you can get amazing drone displays, but then you've got to say, well, make sure those drones are reusable. Are those drones made of reusable, recyclable materials? Blah, blah, blah. You know.
And the thing is, you would need so many millions of drones on the same night. That would be the problem, wouldn't it?
Paul.
Well, it'd be, well, if you're going to have a drone display, there's about 2,000.
That's not millions, is it?
So if it's 2,000 and there are 10,000 displays around the country, I think you'll find that gets into, you know, rather a lot. Millions.
Anyway, I think that would be a great idea. I'm sure they could do stuff with lasers, projection, water projection.
Look at Kew Gardens.
They do the projection onto the fountains. That is incredible. So there's lots of creative ways they could do these things.
We need to, I mean, in our everyday lives, with COVID this year, we've had to look at new ways of communicating, new ways of doing things, using technology. Let's carry on doing that for things that are actually going to be beneficial for the planet. Yeah,
and not polluting.
Yes.
I mean, the air quality around November becomes awful. And this is one of the reasons why we no longer use our fire very often. In fact, I think we used it twice. Stop the noise, please.
Last year.
twice last year, because one day I was walking home from work, I think it was, and it kept catching me in the back of my throat. I thought, God, somebody's got a fire on. Whilst it smells divine,
Lovely.
like incense, it catches the back of your throat. And if you've actually got respiratory issues, especially at the moment, it's not great at all. It really affects the air quality. So, it's just not a good idea. We need to find alternatives that are just as spectacular, if not more so, and environmentally friendly.
But
That's it.
The one that I'm really worried about is New Year's Eve. Because we have New Year's Eve, there's a barrage for about 2 or 3 hours that goes on, isn't there?
The worst is Diwali.
Well, there's Diwali as well. Yeah,
that goes
Diwali
on for a long time.
There's big displays of Diwali only a few miles from us.
And whilst we have indeed been in awe of that, especially when we first saw Diwali celebrations, as you mature, you get older, your thinking processes change, you grow as a person, you become more aware of the environment and the planet. You realise how we sort of pander to our own childish needs, really.
Well, yeah, but
they are quite childish and quite naive.
It takes generations for things to change. It absolutely does, and that is still certainly part of our socialisation of growing up and what we became used to, and as you say, you change as you get older.
My crochet's come undone. Yeah, you've got...
trying to put the world to rights and Richard's crochet's come undone.
You have to grow as a person. And it's absolutely fine to say, I used to think this way, and now I'm educated, or I've educated myself, or I've found out more about this. I want to change.
I have lived life experience. That's what it is.
I want to be I want to think differently about this because I now believe this is right. It's fine to do that. That's what life is about. We don't have to be rigid. We've always done this. It will always be the same and we'll always carry on the same way. No, that's actually bullshit.
You see, it's interesting. We're not going to get into politics, but just looking at how politics runs in the UK, and I used to look at the way that the House of Commons ran and the processes and all of the pomp and ceremony that goes with it. And then actually now when I look at the Scottish governments and the Welsh governments, I think, you know what, it's time to change. It really is. We should not be pumping billions into that old building. We should be changing the way that politics is run, governments are run in the UK. The Scottish are doing it, the Welsh are doing it, I think the Northern Irish are doing it as well. We need to get away from the pomp and circumstance of it all, because people's lives are more important than that ceremony that goes with it.
And MPs' lunches.
Well, MPs' food, yeah.
I mean, really, we're paying for their slap-up meals every day and their drinks.
We're paying for their sponsor. Well, particularly the drinks. I think
really?
in today's society, alcohol should not be subsidised
And it shouldn't be served during the working day.
No.
Really?
No.
It was the same at the BBC. You could buy alcohol at any time of day.
Yeah, and you did, didn't you?
A couple of times, yeah. But, hey, let's move on.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love the pomp and ceremony of a lot that goes on, like Trooping of Colour and all of that type of thing. Yeah, I think because that sort of feeds into actual national heritage. And I think I sort of approve of that, or I don't disapprove of it. I just think it's time that Parliament moved into the digital age and stopped all the red and green seats and all of that.
Anyway, let's move on. I don't think we've got anything else to say. I think we've
No.
done it all, Paul.
We've done it all.
We've done it all.
So what's next week? You've got a week off next week.
Now, that's super news. Super news. I'm now on holiday for 2 weeks.
I thought it was only a week.
Just to coincide very, very well with the new lockdown that's going to be coming in very, very soon. Oh well, no change there then. But yeah, I've got 2 weeks off, so we're hoping
To get out a couple of days and have some walks and things
Yeah.
like that. Also do walks locally. Hopefully the weather will be good enough for us to get up the canal and over the canal and things.
So fingers crossed that we get some good weather. We're going to hire our zip car and just do what we do normally and just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Get away from this doom and gloom.
We were going to be in Wales.
We were due to be with Lord and Lady Tittington Smythe this week. Sadly, for the third time this year, we've had to cancel those plans.
And we all know why.
We accept them, even though in our heart of hearts we're all dying to see each other.
Yeah.
And it's been weird because last year we were able to see them on a number of occasions and had some very happy times together. Sadly, that's not happening. They live a long way away, so they can't be part of our social bubble, you know. So, but we are delighted that we have our social bubble, and you know we're doing all we can to see Vivi whenever possible. But yes, that's it. So I'm quite sure we'll be taking you along on a couple of our mystical adventures through forests and woodlands full of rich history and spookiness. So that's it. We're saying goodbye now. Say goodbye, Paul.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you very soon.